Hello, my name is Reginald Grant. This is another episode of Breadcrumbs. For those that have followed me and subscribed to my channel, I want to apologize for there being such a long and lengthy period between episodes. Even though there's no set schedule that I make them, I will work to do a better job at, minimizing the time between episodes. And to those that are joining me for the first time, I want to thank you and welcome you. And hopefully you'll subscribe and continue to follow my channel. And hopefully you'll find it engaging and informative as we go forward. Okay, a quick recap as to exactly what it is that I do. Mainly I share my dreams and visions that I've had over the years. I also tell the truth, tell the story of those that are deceased or missing, of whom I think part of the dreams are related to. I also do profile missing person and murder cases and give my insight into those types of cases and more. Although that's going to be the principle of my platform, my content, I am going to broaden my content to include everything from current events, life experiences, and hopefully some interviews from various people that are related to different cases that I may discuss. So, again, the core is still going to be talking about my dreams and visions. So let's get started. My last episode, I was talking about the disappearance of 3 Fort Worth teenagers back in December of 1974. These teenage girls, Rachel Trlica, who was married, 17-year-old, Renee Wilson, who was 14, and Julie Mosley, who was 9 years old when they went missing from a Fort Worth mall in December of 1974. Though there have been, numerous sightings and theories, this case still remains unsolved. And if you recall my last episode, I mentioned about a vision that I had of 3 remains being unearthed from what I deemed was a detached garage at a residence. So, I'll give a quick recap. First, I made a request to Fort Worth Police Department and the Tarrant County DA's office for reports and for witness statements. And that's just so that I can compare certain things and look at the information that is may not be in the public domain. And as I stated before, give you a quick recap. The girls were going to the mall to do some Christmas shopping, but on their way there, they stopped at an Army and Navy store to pay for and pick up a layaway they had. They apparently made it to the mall and went shopping, and from that point, they went missing and have not been seen or heard from before. Now, they determined that they had made it to the mall because they found the car and there were packages inside, and there were several quote-unquote witness statements saying that they saw the girls here and that this was happening, and they were put in a van by a man who said that when people were trying to intervene, he said it was a family matter. But again, there were several different witness statements, and unfortunately I wasn't able to or allowed to have access to those particular statements. So, my original profile of this case, this was a young man, a white male, early to mid-20s, and he knew one of the families, excuse me. So I still believe that this individual, the principal, is a white male. Either he or his parents were born in a foreign country, and he knew the family. But for a young person of the mid-20s back in 1974 to kidnap, even at gunpoint, 3 females from a busy mall during Christmas time takes not only a lot of nerve and boldness, but it probably takes a lot of confidence and experience. And that's generally not associated, that type of boldness to commit such an act in a public domain is not associated with a young individual. Now, even back in the 1970s, and you have the serial murderers and so on and so forth who have kidnapped individuals and later caught. This individual wasn't worried about being identified. So I would suspect there's possibly 2 individuals involved with these girls' disappearance. Now, get back to, of course, a little bit of the case history. The girls were, again, apparently kidnapped from the mall, and the car, of course, was left at the mall, but there was a letter. And it doesn't matter who wrote the letter, but the letter was written and mailed to the husband of Renee Trlica, who was married at the time. So the letter is mailed to the husband, and it basically says, we've run away, and the car is parked at this particular place at the mall, and I think the place they said Houston. Now that is highly unusual. Now you have to consider this was back in 1974. There were no surveillance cameras. There were no phones, and criminals were not as concerned of these particular things back in 1974. It was, they didn't exist, so why worry about it? But again, this individual had to have be pretty sure that it wasn't going to be identified as someone who is known or could be known, quote unquote, by the general public or individuals or the family. Now, again, for this to take place at a busy mall during Christmas, that took some experience and a little patience and maturity and assuredness about themselves that they could pull this off. All right, so I'm still now the letter in itself. To me, it was meant to lead the police investigators or the family into the belief that these girls are somewhere, they've run off somewhere to some far distant city and place, and never to come back again. But for me, this letter was meant to try to draw police and attention away from someone who may be close to the family, and to try to lead the police in a different direction than looking in the near vicinity. Now, I don't think these girls are any place far from the Metroplex. I believe that their remains are somewhere close to where they reside. Now, the key to this, for me, the key to this case is that letter. That letter tells you about what that person, he was trying to achieve by mailing this letter to the husband of one of the kidnapped victims. So again, if I had the reins to this case, I believe this is a solvable case, and we have to start looking into people who are known by the family. So, and at this conclusion, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to appreciate your time. And again, if you have any comment, feedback, or questions, please shoot me an email at dowreggie@outlook.com. I'll be glad to hear from you. And I want you to stay tuned because I have a lot of other cases that I'm going to profile. And again, I hope to do interviews and maybe invite a guest to come and sit with me at an episode. So stay tuned because I'm going to talk about other cases that I'm going to cover, including the Zodiac killer, the serial killer, John Benet Ramsey, and several other cases that have been gone unsolved for years or even decades. I'm also going to talk about my personal work experience with my current and my previous employer. So again, hopefully you'll stay tuned. I appreciate your time, and until next time, have a great day. Thank you.